Did I do that, or did Nathan change it, or you changed
Did
it?
I do that?
No, I did.
Did I do that?
Did I do that? I
Oh.
think I did. Maybe I did it. Maybe I'm funny.
Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Did I do that? Anyway.
Why do you sound like a paedophile, Dom?
Oh, that was a funny joke, Lewis. That was a funny joke.
Oh god. Well, welcome guys to episode 11. Light up your life. 3025 Light Mechs Roundtable. This is me, your host, Lewis. Over there, we've got Tom.
Wow. Thanks, Lewis.
And over there, we've got Nathan.
Hello.
And down there, interrupting as usual, is Dom.
Does anyone have a round table?
No, I don't think I own one. I've seen one.
Only in Myths and Legends, mate. There's some sort of like famous round table, I think, in Myths and Legends.
There is a famous one in Myths and Legends, but like I have seen them. They do exist.
I'll be honest, I'm more of an oblong table kind of man.
Just you're more of an oblong.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the round. I'm not much of a fan of the round table. I mean, it's supposed to push equality, but there's always going to be like someone further away, and like the two guys sitting right next to go.
So what kind of table are we? What kind of table are we using for this episode then? Just so we can get it.
Yeah, I'd say it's actually round table because there's not one like central.
Well, obviously it's a hex-shaped table.
Oh, there we go. Hex table. We're going to go with that.
Who's going to be in like one of the hexes in between the two people? It's just me, Tom, and Dom versus Lewis.
Just empty sides of the hex. Don't worry about it. Anyway, as you might have gathered, this week we're going to be talking about light mechs, which we'll get to in our main segment shortly. But before that,
What?
Yeah. But before that. Let's have a little recap on some hobby and some news from this week. So, hobby-wise, let's start with Nathan.
So, what I've been doing this week is that I made an excellent trade and got a Wraith, which is pretty epic. I like it a lot. And
that was a bit too enthusiastic there, Nathan.
What do you mean it was a bit too enthusiastic?
I think we might need to report this. Your love of the Wraith to the police.
That's the wrong one. What do you mean?
Nathan's like one of those guys. He's like one of those guys.
It's just a good mech. It's just a good mech.
Just a good mech.
Yeah, I tried it for a Wolverine because my mate didn't want a Wolverine anymore, which I thought was completely fair and understandable. So I got a bit of paint on that, and then I played a game. It was a demi company of Gallus versus some smoke Jaguars, which you should be able to see on the Instagram.
Yes, I will definitely post them up at some point.
Totally,
definitely.
Yeah.
Especially if you send me them, I'll definitely get it posted up. Cool.
We're professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are Hexperts. But yeah, that's pretty much been it in a nutshell.
Super duper.
Who's next?
Let's go crazy. Let's go with Dom next.
Legasp. Okay, what have I been up to?
How do you sound so far away, Dom? You've gone like under the water.
Okay, let's try that again.
There we go. Where did you go? A
reminder to cut that out of the recording.
No, we're keeping it. We're keeping it live.
We'll do it live. I have been painting Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures.
Oh, what a surprise!
I painted a chap called Wolverine.
Oh, the
name BattleTech Mech.
That relates to what Nathan just said. Oh, it's like we planned it. We didn't.
Isn't he the short one?
He is short, isn't he?
Oh, Nathan.
Nathan is the short one as well.
Yeah, so Wolverine, also known as Nathan.
Yeah, he's the short one. He's very hairy and naked, apparently, in Marvel Crisis Protocol. Anyway, so I painted him and I painted Professor X as well. I painted Apocalypse last week.
Yeah.
And I think Lewis tried to post a picture of it, and he cut the heads and leg off.
Changed all of the orientation to fit Dom's picture in, and it changed everything but Dom's picture when I posted it. It just got so bad. But in theory, you can see the torso of Apocalypse on Instagram if you want to go and look at that.
It's really
You can see half a wheelchair.
No, I got Professor X in the week before, but Apocalypse last week was not. He's definitely not in the frame.
You can see those.
He's just too
rippling
big.
arms.
He's just too big.
He's just a big guy. But yeah, but I'm looking this week. I will get Wolverine with all his hairy nakedness in to the Instagram pictures. Is my mission.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been playing Marvel Crisis Protocol and having a really fun time with it. I think I enjoy skirmish games just as much as I enjoy sort of regimented rank and flank fantasy battle games like the old world. But they obviously with the skirmish game, it just takes a lot of less time to set up naturally.
Yep.
Because you're not having to set up sort of 20 models in a regiment or however many. I think obviously with this podcast, we're all kind of skirmish game players by nature that you guys play BattleTech and I may play BattleTech at some point in the future.
At some point. But yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
That is true. Super. So got a cool Wolverine painted up this week then, Dom? Is that everything? And played some MCP. Did you play any Marvel Rivals this week?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should have known.
The less said about that, the better, though.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah. So is that all that's you finished for this week?
That's me finished for this
Cool.
week,
We'll baby. We'll speak to we'll see what Tom's got up to then, because it's probably not going to be BattleTech related, knowing him.
It actually isn't.
Oh,
It literally isn't.
What the hell?
My Machine and Krieger addiction has continued. So we are moving forward with that. Lewis, you should be able to post up a picture of the little vignette that I finished up early this week.
Looks like a teddy bear next to a lamppost or something.
Yeah, sure, that one. Yeah, that one, Lewis. The one that I just spent hours working on. Teddy bear next to a lamppost. Sure, bud. Kid. So I've been doing that. I've been painting up some other stuff. It's so cool. I've really enjoyed getting into 1/35th scale modeling. Just even outside of Machine and Krieger stuff, just generally 1/35th, it's allowed me to do a lot more hobby, which will actually allow me to paint BattleTech better. So that is something.
You're scraping there. You're trying to
Okay, fine then. I'll talk about some BattleTech stuff then. So first off, I went to Partisan up at Newark.
Yep.
Which was nice. It was cool. I managed to pick up TRO 3050, an original copy, which is a few years older than me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, 1986. Damn.
I don't think my copy was that old, but I don't think my copy doesn't close anymore.
Yeah. To be fair, this is in really good nick. I think it was. To be fair, the person I bought it off, I think they were selling off. Like I think it was like an estate sale. Someone had unfortunately passed away, and they were selling off their hobby stuff.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but you know. I get to buy things now, so
it means that someone who won't be using it anymore can pass it on to someone who will enjoy it.
Exactly.
I hope when I die, they put me in a grave with all of my figurines.
I'm gonna get entombed.
Just full of.
I'm gonna be like.
Tom's gonna be covered in X-Men models.
Yeah, dude.
Tom's gonna be enveloped in models that no one understands or knows what they are.
Only one man from Japan understands them, and Mike, to be fair.
Mike, yeah.
But me and Mike together in the end. So that was cool. Partisan was cool. It was all right. It was good. I still prefer Hammerhead, which also happens at Newark Showground. But I think if you can get to either of them, it's definitely better than not going. It's really good to see some of the traders, some of the bring and buy. Just get a feel of stuff. It's a good hobby. But I actually did play a game of BattleTech for once.
Oh my!
Against Bill and his Snord's Irregulars. I was about to say Rhonda's Irregulars, but Rhonda wasn't present. Cranston was. It was fine. I played my Rolling Thunder against them. They were all right. Rolling Thunder is very bad.
I think
because they're
not
standard.
Not the same skill, I think, as Snords.
No, but it did culminate. The game basically culminated on the last turn that we played. My Ossol, which was Ostrock, sorry, my 6/6 Ostrock, Esteban Rodriguez, an absolutely terrible pilot who had achieved absolutely nothing up until this point, managed to push Bill's Thunderbolt, his 1/2 Thunderbolt, off the board.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which at that point he conceded, because I'll be honest, I did warn him I would do it if I had the opportunity, and he was like, you're too far away, and I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. And that is what Billy often says as well. He often says, you're too far away. It's a classic Billy line.
That is one of his catchphrases.
He just says it involuntarily.
I mean, everyone has to learn at one point or another not to put him on the edge of the map.
Yeah, he was playing turret tech at the back of the map. To be fair, when we started, he was the disparity between the two forces was so great that I had to bring 2 lances against 1 lance of his. So I guess, I don't know, protest, he decided to add half a map sheet to the back end of the map.
He did.
So he could fire out more LRMs. However, he then stood at the back of said map sheet. So in the end, we were actually fighting on one singular map sheet. Yeah. Literally 12 mechs were in one map sheet. So then I pushed him off the edge.
Yeah,
So
normally we would probably point out, or we'd be a bit more gentlemanly about pushing people off the map. But we did warn Billy, and Billy didn't move for the whole game, so he did deserve it.
Yeah, he was like, this one gunnery is so good when I stand still. And it's like, yeah, but you know what else is cool? Perish.
Moving, using your legs. But yeah, cool. So is that everything, Tom? Have you got any?
I am actually currently building a Bandai Namco kit that I picked up today. They are so nice. I'm not going to talk about it at length, but if any of you guys can, they're slightly similar. A lot of them are very similar to BattleTech models because they're stolen. So if you can pick up a Bandai Namco kit, these Japanese people know how to cast plastic. This stuff is sick.
Just clarifying, Tom has not stolen this model. He is saying that the design was borrowed from someone else's design.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Your models.
Tom is just always running off with people's models and making them, stealing obscure models.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, that was me. Thank you, Lewis, for
allowing you to speak, Piccolo.
Yeah, allowing me.
Let me speak,
Piccolo.
But yeah. Or lastly,
what have you been up to?
Oh, me. I have painted an Argus, just a little guy. I like him. He's just a bit static, but it's a cool little model. Looking forward to using him. I've not used the rack yet. Might get chance to use that. I've not. I know you've had.
I have no comment on what Lewis just said.
Oh, okay. Well, I've not used a rotary autocannon 5 yet.
As you know, Tom's a big fan of racks.
Oh dear.
I'm a big proponent of racks. I have a whole lance of racks. Yeah. I have used racks extensively. If possible, I like to get my hands on racks at any point that I can.
Tom also has a nice rack, if you ask me. Yeah, moving on from that, I've almost finished a pattern tank. Definitely not a Rommel tank. Those don't exist anymore. We're not allowed to talk about them.
A Rommel tank?
No, we're not allowed to talk about them.
Oh, silly Irwin.
Game
wise, I think I didn't play.
So it sounds like that's fairly controversial, right? The fact it's now a pattern rather than a Rommel. Should we make our opinions clear on this?
There was a whole thing on it. I think we want to just skirt around this for the time being.
Wait, we don't want to.
No, we don't want to.
Don't want to go into controversy.
Yeah.
What?
It was a funny joke. We'll come back to it later if we do want to talk about it. But yeah, anyway, I lent out my amazing Lance off Lance to Owen, friend of the podcast, and he was playing other Billy, who was using the Dom's Lance off Lance, which we'll talk about a little bit more shortly. And they played a game with that. I think I didn't technically play, but I kind of was around to help, so it's kind of like playing. And
Lewis is a BattleTech voyeur.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis was sitting in the wardrobe, watching everyone play Battle.
We're sitting in the special
He's a
chair.
battle cook.
No. Anyway, I think technically,
make sure your mechs have got a flared base. That's all Lewis was saying.
I think
wardrobe.
I think apparently somehow
Hex-based plays.
throughout this game, my -3 out of 10 lance has become a -5 or 7 out of 10 lance. I think it was a draw, so I don't know how my lance is getting worse every game.
Oh, you mean you -8 out of 5 lance?
No, stop it. Cool. But yeah, so they just got to have a game and they didn't lose too badly, so that's still a win in my count. It's a draw, which isn't losing technically, or maybe it's both. If I don't know. But yeah, other than that, played some Mech Warrior the other night with Nathan and Billy, and Mech Warrior 5 Mercs. Nathan managed to fall asleep halfway through a mission and left. Left
12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. I was completely fine, and then 12:30. It's literally just like
it's just us. We're calling Nathan over Discord. Nathan, where are you?
And it was like an hour, like half an hour later. I was like, I need to get off this game.
It's funny. But we did.
Nathan was honk shoe maxing.
We did finish the mission without Nathan as well, which was funny. Cool.
No man left behind except Nathan when he falls asleep.
It was Nathan was left behind because we couldn't move him.
No man except Alltop.
Yeah, no man except Allsop. And lastly, hobby, not from us actually, hobby from friend of the podcast, Ian, who was on the last episode. Ian has done a secret paint up of Dom's lance, so you probably see that on the Instagram coming up shortly, which looks really cool. Thank you very much for painting up that lance for us in the Hexperts BattleTech scheme. It looks real cool. I didn't realise our main colour was grey. I thought it was yellow.
Can I just say how insanely cool that was?
Yeah,
that's insane.
So cool.
Like
that's so cool.
That's so cool. Just any kind of engagement from the community. From just an email.
Positive engagement, please.
You can hate mail. I'll take it. It's probably fair.
You won't. You don't know how to log into the email.
I'm illiterate.
But yeah, as Tom says, thank you very much for that, Ian, and getting that painted up. It looks really cool, and it will hopefully make Dom play some games as well. Or at least...
Yeah, Ian's also just like a cool guy, so that helps.
Well, that's
don't count on me playing any game, but yeah, Ian, big shout outs to you. It was so cool to see the Dom Lance in person.
It's so annoying that it looks good and it plays good, and you just shouting mechs at me to build it.
Well, when you look good, you play good. When you play good, you get paid good.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Okay. Well, I think that's all of the hobby anyway. And as we previously mentioned, what?
1 second, just before we move on.
What have you got?
Have we mentioned Nathan's hobby, or did we skip over Nathan's hobby?
We did Nathan's hobby.
I was like,
it's the order. It's the order. This is the thing, Lewis. You're too crazy.
It's broken your brain. But yes,
you're too crazy with the order.
Too crazy.
I was having a Lewis moment.
But anyway, I think we started with Nathan. But anyway, as mentioned previously, if you do want to keep track of some of these things visually, I'll endeavour to get them painted up on the Hexperts BattleTech Instagram, which is Hexperts_BattleTech_podcast, and it should pop up if you start typing most of that in anyway. And if the guys actually send me the pictures, I will get them up. Cool. So news, news. Not really much new news, but I remember there was news that I didn't talk about last week, which was that Mech Warrior 5 Ghost Bears came out last week, which would have been more impactful last week. However, it's still a cool game, and we actually, although we've been playing Mech Warrior, we've not actually got together and played the game yet. So I think we've all got it downloaded, so hopefully in the week or the weekend coming up.
I am very tempted to create a Twitch channel just for the Hexperts, and then we can all just go on there and play it all.
Yeah, well, if that's something, if that's something you guys are interested in, let us know as well. We can let us know. See if it's worth us setting that up, because I know my computer definitely couldn't handle streaming Mech Warrior 5 clans. But
we do play video games. It'd be cool.
Yeah. And this is why women choose the Ghost Bear.
Oh dear. Well, hopefully this time as well, if we play clans, we won't shoot each other in the back with ERPPCs every 5 minutes, because that was a theme of the last time we played.
Lewis, I wonder who did that.
You love back shots.
I think you'll find it'll be 8 pulse lasers this time.
Pulse lasers
in the Kodiak.
Oh dear. Yeah, definitely. That's pretty much all the news. You guys not going to see anything, have you, that I've missed Don't think there's anything else, is there?
Nope.
No, cool.
We've got a new pope.
Well, we did that last time.
We are not sure about the Pope Leo the 14th's opinions on BattleTech. However, until he comes out and says he's anti-BattleTech, I'm taking it that he's pro-BattleTech.
Have you seen him as a skateboarder as well? He can skateboard.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this guy's style.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping
he was on TV in America skateboarding when he was a kid.
He's going to shred your sins away.
That is cool. Hopefully this doesn't age badly with the podcast that we think the Pope is cool.
It's a good job the Catholic Church never do anything wrong, isn't it?
Oh dear.
I mean, it's hard for the altar boys to get away, but you know.
So anyway, we might talk a bit more about Pope-related things later on in our Mech of the Week segment later on. Maybe we forget there this week. If we get there this week, last time I teased it, we didn't even get that far, and then we still haven't talked about the dragon. It makes me so mad. Anyway, so we've got some events coming up. So obviously, as I've said, I like to check out Discord. Our friends at Tales from the Periphery keep track of events, and also I've used this new website called Facebook to check some events coming up as well. So I've got some new ones this week.
Is that website like Friendster?
It's kind of like MySpace from
Is it like Bebo?
Bebo. Yeah.
Lewis, can you use it to look at events? I only use it to write people at my university.
But yes, events coming up. I think this weekend the BattleTech Alpha Strike Battle for Tricross in Enfield. Obviously that's happened, but it's more cool for happening. Hopefully we see some pictures coming up for that. Looking forward to that.
If you have a time machine, you can go to it.
Yes. Coming up, we've got some events that I found on Facebook and some other ones as well. But we've got BattleTech Chaos March at Factorum Warminster, which is a 2-day narrative event. It is covering the events of Operation Guerrero, and that is on the 24th of May. Check their Facebook or check their website for more information on that. It looks cool.
Banned from Facebook.
Okay, I know you're banned from Facebook, but you can borrow Nathan's Facebook if you want to look at that.
I can't help it that Facebook's scared of the truth.
Next event, we've got UK Games Expo. We've been talking about this quite a bit. If you've been listening to the previous episodes, myself and Tom are going to be there as part of the Catalyst demo team. There's a bunch of fun events. The ones that Tom has been, it's not spearleading, leading anyway. The BattleTech Mercenaries Dracona
Spear leading is incredible. You went for spear leading. It's almost cheerleading and almost spearheading.
Don't even spearheading, that was it. So yeah, the event Tom is spearheading is sold out, which is Draconis Reach. But keep an eye because that tickets for that might pop back up.
Can't wait to spear lead this.
Oh dear, don't spear lead anyone turning up. And then we've also got events Drafted for War. Friend of the podcast, Nate's spear leading that one. You get some mechs. You get play some Alpha Strike, and there's a tournament which you can win some cool trophies at the end of. Myself, I'm spearheading BattleTech Aces, so you can try out the new BattleTech Aces system, which is AI, kind of a card control system. You get to see how that plays in Alpha Strike. Last event that we're going to be running will be the Trial of Position, which has been run by Tom L, which is a kind of intro to BattleTech, and got a painting. You get to get a mech, you get to paint a mech, and you get to play some intro to Alpha Strike. I think it's sold as the idea of it. It's kind of, I think anyone can go and do it, but it's also aimed at the younger mech warrior kind of person. If you want to go and bring someone who wants to try playing a little bit of BattleTech, or if you're a bit of an older person, I think you can just turn up and play. I didn't see anything that says you can't go. No, there's like a cap to the age.
And the last event is a kissing booth with Nathan.
Yeah, but that's not
free kisses all day.
Yeah,
you just have to.
You don't have to pre-book that one. Yeah.
No.
that one.
There'll be lines going around the block, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Cool. And after that, another event that's coming up is the BattleTech South Wales guys are running a casual day at Firestorm in Cardiff on the 7th of June. They've got information on their Facebook. It looks like you can just let them know you come in. And
what What kind of BattleTech is it?
It looks like classic because they're talking about BV. So
Okay, so it's actual BattleTech. Cool.
Not Alpha Strike or BattleTech Gothic. Blech.
So if you want to go down to South Wales for the weekend, have a nice time, play some BattleTech on the 7th. That sounds like an excellent thing to do.
Don't just turn up. I think you probably just need to let them know you're
Yeah,
coming. I'm just saying it looks like there's some cool casual BattleTech going on.
This one goes out to 3 listeners. Do not just turn up; they will be swamped.
Well, I think even if they do turn up, they'll have a good time because there's some good stock at Firestorm, and it's just a nice place, isn't it?
Mm.
Fantastic.
Right. So is Lewis getting paid to sponsor Firestorm? Is this what this is now?
So. I want to go
I'm
down.
getting paid here.
Yeah, they're not, but I wish they would because it looks like a nice place to go. I think
it's really nice.
I think I'm the only person who hasn't been.
Yeah. Well, or Lewis, we can change that on the 7th.
I don't know if we're gonna. Don't know if we want to travel down to Cardiff on the 7th. We could do that. Anyway, I think that's everything for catch up and news. So we're gonna head to a break, and then we'll come back with our main segment. So catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
On the flip side, baby.
And we're back after the break, and we're back to our main segment. We're talking about light mechs. Well, light mechs in 3025. So, what is a light mech? Pretty sure you probably gathered what it is from the name. It's pretty descriptive. It's a lighter mech.
It's the flea.
The flea is a light mech, but the mechs are between 20 to 35 tons. If you're above that, you're a medium. If you're below that, you're an ultralight or a proto mech.
Yeah, so you know, like those Chinese restaurants in the Philippines where like they get people to walk through those really thin gaps, and they say like you get a discount if you weigh a certain amount. The flea just fits through with no problems, but the rest of the mechs they're too girthy to fit through the gaps.
Are those real?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, before we get too tangent, to go too far off, that's cool to know. But yeah, our light mechs, if there was a hole for a light mech, it would fit through there. They're quite contentious with mech warriors because you don't have a lot of armor and you're quite small. So if they put you on the front line in a light mech, you might not be lasting too long. However, if you're at the tip of the spear, talking about spears again, on the front line on a light mech, you're probably doing it wrong. So if you don't want to be in a light mech on the front line, where should you be using a light mech? Why should you be using a light mech? Well, light mechs, they're pretty cheap, both in BV and C bills or PV as well. They're usually pretty fast.
What about in human money? What about in human money?
Human
Are they
money?
expensive in human money?
Yeah. They would. I think they would be cheaper in dollars or pounds, but in universe C bills they are cheaper as well usually because they're physically smaller and they have smaller parts and there's less to them.
Yeah, because I was thinking like with BattleTech you don't really buy miniatures per se. You buy boxes of miniatures that usually have like a variation of.
You mean the light mechs cost less than the assault mechs for actually buying models?
Yeah.
No, not generally. It's just buy mechs in the box. Yeah, because I suppose you can. A box of assault mechs generally costs the same price as like the Striker Lance, which has lots of light mechs and medium mechs. There's not really a difference generally. You might find some people don't want some of the light mechs, so they might become cheaper if you're buying them in singles off people. But to buy them from Catalyst or your local shop, generally they're not cheaper, as far as I'm aware. You guys haven't seen them cheaper, have you? Like, I don't think
not really. They're all about £6.50.
I think you might find they're cheaper if you're buying stuff like Iron Wind Metals models, because some of the smaller models they've got are, because it uses less metal or pewter, they are lighter, and that makes a difference I think for that. But for catalyst resin or plastic it doesn't, but for the metal models it does. But yeah.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, so if you want to save some, if you want some cheaper models as well, lighter mechs might be cheaper if you buy them in metal. So light mechs pretty cool because they're pretty fast as well. They can jump around, maneuverable. They can get into positions for attacking or for defense, or interacting with stuff like objectives that some of the other mechs might struggle to do. You don't need to be in a protracted fight with a mech if you can just jump around the back of it and shoot it in the back. I.e., if you got around the back of a rifleman or hunchback, you can end their career quite quickly. Or if you went and picked up the weapon cache that you were looking to pick up and leave the map, that's a lot easier to do with something like a light mech that's got that maneuverability or speed.
Isn't going around the back like one of your like specialties? I think don't they call it the Lewis back shot?
But that's for the After Dark episode. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, most light mechs probably fall within like a Venn diagram kind of thing. That's what you call it, isn't it? Because you're so light, you kind of want three things, but you're probably only going to get one or two of these, which is your mechs. You're either going to have a mech that's fast, a mech that's got armor, or a mech that's got firepower. Like I said, you probably get one, maybe two of these, which it gets exacerbated with a light mech because you've only got so much tonnage to play with to kind of choose what you get.
I think out of all the mechs, like the light mechs are the most interesting to me because they're kind of the most like agile and they're dancing around the battlefield like ballerinas with machine guns, and they're just trying to like affect the battlefield with their like lighter armor, lighter weaponry, but they're like hitting crucial points. So they're like a swarm, like a swarm of piranhas going after these bigger targets, and I think that's like a really attractive idea. I think that's really cool. Rather than kind of two big mechs, I like the idea of like little hunting packs of scout mechs going around and like basically chopping them off at the Achilles.
Yeah, it's one of the tactics. I think it's the Draconis Combine they've used they've used in the past where they just have a lot of light mechs to overwhelm someone. It didn't go fantastically for them when they ran up into line of autocannons, but until then it went quite well for them. I know we were enjoying Mech Warrior 5 playing with the light mechs recently, scouting around and getting some of the heavier mechs to turn around so that some of our fire support mechs can shoot them in the back. So that's the kind of thing they do. Light mechs though, generally you'll probably find they're going to fall into a couple of there's more roles than this, but these are the kind of roles you probably find they're going to fit into. You've got stuff like your scouts, as we talked about earlier, mechs that are probably going to go up, just see what's there so they can report back. Then while they're there, they're pretty useful if they want to do stuff like indirect fire, but they won't indirect fire, but they might say where something is for a mech that's indirect firing or for your artillery. These mechs usually haven't got the best weapons or the best armor, but they're probably pretty fast or they're pretty maneuverable, i.e. they've got jump jets, so they can get up to places that other mechs might take quite a few turns or time to get there if we're not talking in game. Strikers. So strikers, favourite of ours, the Jenner or Commando. So these are the kind of mechs that they're probably still pretty fast, but they carry a lot of weapons, so they can get to places like around the back of mechs or quickly up to areas that people weren't expecting and do a lot of shots all at once, and then probably run out of there before they get shot back. They usually need to sacrifice something for this. I think the Jenner sacrifices a bit of armor, or you get your Commandos which sacrifice a bit of speed.
Yeah. I think a lot of them are going to be either slower or easy to kill.
Yeah.
So you need to be very careful with them. I would say if you're an experienced mech commander and you know what you're doing, you can really use them to great use. But I think some of them are maligned wrongly because people use them too liberally.
Yeah.
And so they don't get the value that they're hoping for, but that's not because the mech's bad. It's just because they're not using it in the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got a question.
Yeah.
I think traditionally, BattleTech, we think about things in a 2D, not a 2D plane, a one-dimensional battlefield. Yeah. So everything's on the ground level. However, when I think of like scouting and how you can achieve competent scouting, you would think about the air and subterranean scouting. So do you have mechs that sort of pop up from underground, and do you have mechs that fly over the top and just kind of, scout from a high up above?
Yeah, well, you would have. There's planes anyway. There's going to be drones flying around. You're going to have probably satellites, so they can be doing that kind of thing from up above. We don't talk about them too often, but we do have lambs as well, which are land air mechs. So you've got mechs that might turn into planes, fly around.
They're actually really good scouts.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
they're fantastic. Yeah, literally they are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cooler.
I don't know too many that dig underground. It probably just take quite a while to get there. Probably things have happened before. But yeah,
there should be. My OC mech is called the Mole Man.
Yeah,
and it's a mech with basically hand drills for hands.
Yeah,
and it goes underground and comes back up and drills mechs in the back.
Yeah, well, there probably is a mech that's like that. I know there's the Muckraker. That's got a big machine gun, hasn't it? Not a big drill. But there's probably some industrial mechs that have They've probably got that loadout and probably used for mining that you could probably drop into. We'll have to
Lewis,
have a
you're
look.
ruining my OC. Stop it.
Oh, sorry,
It's
yeah.
an original idea that I came up with myself.
We'll see if they one exists. If not, Don, we'll trademark it for you, or we'll get a patent.
Hexperts Mole Man.
Yes. But yeah, lastly, for light mechs, some of the mechs might fall into stuff like brawlers and ambushers. These aren't as common, but your brawlers, stuff like your panthers or your ambushers, stuff like your urban mechs, these mechs usually aren't very fast, but they've got quite a lot of armor for a light mech, and they've usually got pretty good guns or got a big gun. Especially if you look at the urban mech L, which has got an AC-20. They probably don't want to be the urban mech doesn't want to be walking around the battlefield or out in the open, but he's quite happy ambushing someone. The panther actually is quite happy trundling up with the rest of your lance, but he's still a light mech, so he won't last as long as the bigger mechs, but he can hold his own, and he can last quite a while. I know when I've been trying to shoot them, I thought they'd have fallen a long time before they do. That's kind of a quick overview of some of the light mechs. Do you guys have any preference on how you run your light mechs, or what you do with them, or any tricks that you employ?
Well, I like the flea.
I know you like the flea, but what would you do with the flea then, Dom?
I think in theory,
Yeah.
and I don't know how this would play in practicality, but I would use the flea to run around the back of their most valuable mech.
Yeah.
Kind of do a distracting belly dance perhaps, and then as a result of that mech turning around, the heavy mechs in the background, like the Warhammer or the Atlas, could go and shoot their heavy mech in the back.
Well, that's quite a good option. I'd say that if you got your flea around the back of a mech, probably something like a mech like a rifleman or something like a longbow or something, where if you start shooting them in the back, they've either got to get hit in the back, and at some point that's where their weaker armor is, so they might start falling if they just let you keep doing that. Or if they turn around, then they're not shooting their guns where they need to be shot. So it's a valid tactic, and it's something that I do quite often with stuff like the wasps and stingers that don't have the most damage, but they can still go up and start harassing someone, and you can also start running and punching and kicking in their back, so you might trip someone up.
You can also employ this technique in real life. Now, the Hexperts podcast is not liable for you trying this, but if you find a very small friend who's quite stocky, he can run around the back of your assailant, and then as your assailant turns around, you can punch him in the back of the head.
I mean, to be fair, I both in real life and in BattleTech, I kind of employ the same tactics with light mechs. Recently, I've been using the mongoose, and all I do is just run up to the biggest mech possible. And that mech is going to be like, oh, I don't really care about a mongoose. He's not doing anything. And he'll target my larger mechs, like I had a archer and a grasshopper that game. But all that mongoose did is just fire 3 medium lasers and just kick his shins. And eventually, it finally kill him. One medium laser worth of damage at a time. It did finally take him down.
Super.
Well, you got to do it sometimes. You got to do it.
Which one of you's eating crisps?
Tom.
Cut down.
I'm not eating crisps.
Not
I'm
sharing.
so sorry.
Andy's
It's
not
crisps.
sharing.
It's not crisps. It's not crisps.
It's scratching.
No, it isn't. I'm opening up a Bandai model
Put
kit.
your Bandai model kit away, Tom.
No!
It's too loud. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
Tom, will you talk us through some of your tricks with your light mechs that you like to employ?
Oh, well, apart from eating them, I'm a big fan of... I'm just having a look. I'm a big fan of Force Recon, so spiders and that kind of ilk. Fast. They probably don't have a lot of damage, but I like using them to coordinate indirect fire. Also, when I'm using C3,
yeah,
they're absolutely invaluable. To start setting up a C3 lance, they're just super useful.
What's
I think overall,
C3 is something a bit later on, but it's a system that networks the mechs together to improve the targeting, which is a valid tactic with light mechs, but it's something we've not talked about because it hasn't come out yet.
doesn't exist.
Not yet, anyway.
But when it does,
it's cool. But as what Tom was saying is
like
that
that.
some of those light mechs can get in and then network data to some of the mechs further back, and it improves their targeting, which is cool. I mean, it basically means that some of your light mechs, if they're in short, then your big mechs at the back that are really far away end up classing as being in short range as well, which is cool.
it's very useful.
But talking of stuff that is a bit new and might not be out yet as well, honourable mention to the Raven as well, which is likes to carry around stuff like ECM and some targeting equipment and which is another light mech, which does some cool utility stuff as well. So protecting your mechs, helping to target for other mechs, and that also uses an art beacon as well. I think the standard one. I don't know if the earlier one does, but it's got some cool utility. So that's another kind of use another place where light mechs are interested and not just big mech with big guns smacking into each other. There's some utility there. It's a bit more nuanced, I suppose we'd say. But yeah. But personally, I think I'm very similar to you guys. I like to run the light mechs around the back and harass people, and I do want to do some stuff with some recon and some indirect fire, but I never really get around to using my light mechs for doing that. But it's something I need to try out sometime, keeping some of your mechs out of harm's way and getting those light mechs to spot for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
That's a little talk about light mechs overall. Anything more you guys want to say before we pop to a break?
Absolutely not.
Cool. So we're going to pop to a break. We're going to come back with Your Tech or Law Tech. And then after that, we're going to come back and talk about which our favourite light mech is for the time period. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
And we're back from the break. And we're back to Your Tech or Law Tech. We should get a little theme tune for this. And I'm going to pass it across to Nathan.
So yeah, welcome back to Your Tech or Law Tech.
Yeah.
So either I come up with some fever dream ripped out of the BattleTech universe, or I come up with an actual fact that sounds like a fever dream ripped out of the BattleTech universe. But actually, this time it's not me. It's Lewis doing a user submitted, one of the two, because I don't know yet. Go ahead, Lewis. Take it away.
Cool. Well, we've got a submission from a friend of the podcast, Adam Moleman, from the UK BattleTech Discord. And he has sent in some information about the planet of Farfield, which we will talk about now. So, in 2853, the Second Succession War was in full swing. Planets were getting nuked, scientists were mysteriously disappearing, and on Farfield, people were getting the shits. A Draconis Combine world on the border with the Fed Suns. It was a site of multiple failed invasion attempts until the Fed Sun scientists came up with a cunning plan. 1 week ahead of the scheduled invasion attempt, a salvo of micro-missiles blanketed the atmosphere of Farfield with a mysterious cargo. The Fed Suns regiment landed and swept the planet of hapless Dracs who, on contact with the fearsome enemy, suffered explosive diarrhea. Then that extremely distracted them. The bombardment had contained genetically modified airborne bacteria designed to be activated by adrenaline. By staying buttoned up in their environmentally sealed cockpits that dropped ships for another week, the Fed Sun's mech warriors were unaffected and held the planet. However, beknownst to them, the bacteria slowly recombined with local strains, becoming more persistent, and anyone infected with this new strain suffered lifelong adrenaline-induced diarrhea. Vaccinated Dracs retook the planet 6 months later. Fed Suns at the time lost an entire regiment. They lost an entire regiment, was made combat incapable, and to this day, Farfield's tourism has suffered. So what do you guys reckon? Do you reckon that is a Your Tech or a Law Tech?
I think it's Your Tech.
See, the thing is, I don't know how much effort Adam would put in to deceive us all, so I am slightly concerned, and I actually think it might be a Your Tech. It sounds like a Law Tech, but I'm actually going to Your Tech.
Nathan, what do you think?
I'm going to say it is absolutely a Law Tech. That definitely sounds like something the Drax would do.
Ooh, it's the Fed Suns.
Well, both of them, to be honest. It sounds like something anyone in BattleTech would do, make the big diarrhea virus.
Cool.
That just attacks you.
Well,
so yeah, what is it?
Well, Nathan, I'm afraid you would be wrong. It is in fact a Your Tech.
No!
Adam did a little sneaky on us. He was a bit concerned it was too in depth, but I said that it might work. Apparently, he was inspired by changing a particularly bad nappy on the morning he sent it. Which, thank you very much for letting me know about that.
Fair play.
But it's a pretty cool submission.
I can only apologise that you have to suffer in the way that you do.
So if anyone else has got some cool submissions like that, either send them in to myself or Nathan, or send them into the hexpertshelpline at gmail.com and get them read out.
Or just scream them.
Don't
scream them
don't
loudly. Scream them so loudly.
And see if,
Smoke signals,
Yeah.
snail mail.
Yeah, all of those, and see if you can trick us. Well, we got Nathan this week. Obviously, I was out of it, and we didn't get Dom and Tom, but one out of three is not bad.
I'm also just an idiot, so I'm pretty easy to trick.
I think we're close. I think we always got you. Cool.
You almost got me.
You always got him, but not this time. But Fairfield's real though, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate all of the work gone into that anyway, Adam. Well, we'll catch you guys in a minute on the other side of the break. Catch you guys on the
Did you hear
flip
about
side.
the new Pope? Did you hear about the new Pope?
Oh, God's sake. And we're back from our break. Thank you very much, as we said previously, for Adam for sending that Your Tech or All Tech in for us. We're going to get back talking about light mechs, and we're going to talk about our favourite 3025-ish light mechs. So to start with, we're going to pass it on to Tom.
Oh my god, that's so crazy, Lewis. Thank you. So, I've gone for one that is not necessarily the most well known, but that I do think very well represents what I want in a light mech. And what I've gone for is the Talon. So this was first deployed in 2760. It's a light battle mech, and it basically gives you a bit of long-range firepower. It is a Star League mech, so you could immediately. There have been calls that I am cheating because I have brought one with double heat sinks, which immediately makes it.
I said you're cheating. You're already on -5.
No, it's fine.
Already on -5 from my books.
Yeah, so Lewis has already put me in the sin bin, but I actually would argue that he is wrong because I think it's cool. So I'm looking specifically at the 5V, sorry, not the W. The W is the base variant. I'm looking at the 5V, which is a modified variant. So we're looking at an 812 with a little bit of armor. It's relatively low armored. It's 12 armor on the torsos and 17 in the center. So for a light mech, which is 35 tons, it is looking a little bit light, but I think I can live with that. I don't know about you guys. What would you think? Do you think that is a bit light on the center?
What was the center again? Sorry, Tom.
17.
That's not bad.
Yeah, actually, that's not bad. So, most importantly, though, it's bringing a PPC and 2 medium lasers on an 812.
Oh, you're already disgusting.
And that's kind of why I think it's sick as shit. Because it is just bringing a PPC on a very fast mech.
Yeah.
So the idea would be stick it around someone's ass.
Far
And,
into their back.
Yeah.
There's not many,
That's kind of where that's where I'm at.
There's not many mechs of the period that would take a PPC to the back very well.
No, not at all. So yeah, it's not. Again, I think there's definitely an argument to be made saying that it's not particularly well armored. So if it takes a hit, it's gonna perish, and you're not likely to see one knocking around because of its double heat sinks and XL engine. But should you manage to get your hands on one, I think this is the premium light mech.
Cool. We'll say, talking of premium, Tom, how much BV is it? I think it's quite a bit, isn't it? This might hurt.
1,075.
Oh, there's mediums that cost less than that. It's
yeah, it's a tasty boy. It's a tasty boy.
Yeah. I've not seen one being used against me yet, but it's the kind of mech I could see what actually like that maneuverability and having that weapon in arcs that you're not expecting is pretty useful.
Yeah, I think you can definitely make its money back, but you've just got to be careful with it. I think is the way that I'm gonna say that.
Cool. So next we're gonna be talking to Dom, and he's gonna be talking to us about his favorite mech, his favorite light mech. What is it, Dom?
My favorite light mech is the Flea. So I think the best way I can talk about the Flea is probably to start. I'm not used to talking about mechs, so bear with me, right?
Yeah.
But it's 20 tons.
It is
20 tons, and that's like the majority of the variant's 20 tons, but it can go a little bit lighter, I think. And they're all sort of relatively quick.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of armor, unfortunately, being the Flea, so they really don't like to be hit by big lasers or anything like that. It's a lovely look. I think the reason I like it the most, to be honest, is that it looks like a little guy. It's just a little adorable mech that doesn't it doesn't really punch above its weight. It doesn't really do a lot by the sound of things. But I think aesthetically, it really suits the ideas that I would have for what I would consider to be a light mech. It's got little backwards knees like Xavier the Renegade Angel.
Yeah.
And it's I just really like it. It looks like the robot from Star Wars. The
The ATSTs.
ST.
I was about to say, you got to be a bit more specific there.
Yeah, it looks like the robot from Star Wars. It looks like the robot from Star Wars, and I think that's like maybe why I like it so much, because it's and the fact it's called the Flea, which would imply that it's this sort of pointless, useless mech, but you know, it's trying its best.
Yeah, I think they're pretty solid. They're not as fast as some, but they've usually a little bit better armor than some of the other light mech. Not armor, armed to some of the light mechs. I don't know if does the standard one have the flamer in the rear, or am I thinking of more of an unusual one?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, a flamer in the rear and a pair of small lasers on the left-hand side, with a large laser on the right-hand side.
Yeah, well, I say it's pretty cool just because if he's running away, he can be setting fire to stuff behind him, giving himself a smoke screen. So he might not be the fastest, but you're not going to see him because he's behind fire and smoke. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's cheap, right? It's cheap,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is the
it's
whole
cheap.
goal of a light mech. It's 432 BV,
Yeah.
which is definitely on the cheaper end of any mech. But it does its job for the cost.
Yeah, I don't you could complain. It's not a good mech. I think they're a solid looking little guy. But yeah,
Damn, how has Dom made a compelling argument for the Flea?
he is the dark horse. We need to watch out for him.
This is impressive. I hate the Flea, and yet I've listened to that and gone, actually, he might be cooking.
I think he is. The flea is cooking. Cool.
I do like the Flea.
Yeah, I think they're solid, but I don't think they're as good as my mech, which I'm talking about next, which is the Locust. I'm not talking about a specific Locust because there's so many Locusts at this time period that we can choose from. We've got the 1V with its medium laser and machine guns. If you're a Capellan, you've got the 1E with 2 medium lasers and 2 small lasers. You got Nathan's favourite, the 1M with 2 LRM5s and a medium laser, or the Lyran one with 2 SRM2s and a medium laser. I think the 3 Vs around as well, which adds another laser to the kind of standard loadout. They look cool, the Locusts. They're fast. Are they 711? No, 712. Is that right?
I think that's 7, 12, something like that. Yeah.
They're fast. They're well armored. They can obviously all those their variants are very common. You get parts from anywhere. You can see all those variants there. They're pretty common, apart from maybe the Lyran and the Capellan ones, all over the place. They can fulfill a lot of roles, but even the stock ones, great for scouting. Also, massive benefit to them is they take up half space in mech bays as well. So if you want to get another mech in your mech bay, maybe put 2 Locusts in a mech bay, so you can have 5 when everyone else is running 4 mechs. They're just great all-rounders. They're in a lot of covers, solid mechs. I don't think there's anything bad you can say about them. Maybe not the most dangerous or damaging mechs, but for the money and some of the tricks that they can pull off, really, really cool. I think if you're playing someone again in BattleTech at the moment, because their models come in a lot of the lances, and so they come in a bunch of the boxes, that you've got a good chance of coming across them as well. So loved both in plastic form, metal form, and in universe. Yeah, anything you guys?
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice. I'm a big fan of the Locust. It's just a very classic mech, isn't it?
Yeah,
and you almost always see it, no matter what the era is. Even the clans loved it so much they remade it.
Yeah,
it is in fact a mech of all time.
I think we'll talk about it later.
It's
but
almost
yeah.
It's almost the mech of all time.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's pretty much what I've got to say about the Locust. Anyway, anything? Well, do you want to talk about your mech, Nathan?
Well, sadly, Lewis, we've talked about almost the mech of all time, and now we are talking about the mech of all time. That's right, throwing it back to what Dom said about it being a Star Wars miniature. It is the Urban Mech. The best mech around. Cheap, cheerful. Want to play a 6K game? boom, take 12 of them and annoy everyone.
Sorry,
Nathan.
Nathan.
10 shots.
Can I
Go on?
can I circle back to? It looks like a Star Wars model. What are you talking about?
R2D2.
He has a point.
You know what? Actually, I
So-
immediately rescind my earlier comments. I apologise. You're completely correct.
So every variant's great, but we're not just focusing on every variant. Let's just say, have you ever said, this steak is too juicy? My lobster's too buttery? You might be in the camp of people who do not like the mech. I'm really talking about the urban mech lamb. Now, the urban mech lamb
The McLam doesn't
is
exist.
an insane creation of one of the factions. It's so powerful that no one wants to claim possession of it because they know they'll instantly be destroyed by the rest of them to ensure no more are created. Its movement, we don't know. Too fast to measure, obviously. Its guns, too destructive. No one survives long enough to actually tell the tale and report back what it's armed with. But as you can see by the photo in the YouTube, and by if you search up perfection, both in the dictionary and on Google, you already know this is the right choice for the best light mech.
Okay.
I know what kind of man you are.
Okay. Well, the more common urban mech you're going to see is armed with an AC-10 light laser. It moves 2 free. Is it 2 free and it can jump for 2? Is that right? So you pretty.
I believe it's 232. Yeah.
Yeah, but pretty much a moving turret. But they do well for that. They're quite well armored.
Absolutely. But if you got 12 of them slowly moving towards your opponent, there's no way they can deal with the massive AC-10 and AC-20s slowly waddling their way across the board.
They just walk away. That's what happens.
Yeah, I think waddle is the optimum word here. You are going to be waddling around.
Yeah, but
and that's only if you don't take to the skies upon your self-propellant jump jets and wings.
But I want you to know that I did not know about this, and I would have vetoed this mech had I been made aware of its existence before this episode.
Cool. But the standard ones though, you're probably going to see the 60 and the 60L are quite common. So you got the AC-10, or if you take a bit of armor off, you can put an AC-20 in there. If you got that,
it also reduces the points as well, so you can actually up gunnery them and still have them at about 600 points ish.
It's
so you can have a gunnery free AC-20 that moves across the board.
I think moves across the board is a. It might not be the correct terminology there because
an impressive amount of dog shit I can field.
Yeah, but it's I think if you use them for what they're meant for, which obviously their name implies urban, so they're good in urban cities or hidden in urban environments or maybe in the woods and stuff. They're great for ambush mechs because if you're not expecting a AC-20 to shoot you when you're walking past, then it's going to cause a lot of pain because they are going to struggle to get into position to use some of these guns if they're just waddling around on their own. So great if you use them for what they're meant to do. Less
and what's even better is that they are quite a lot of the time underestimated by the opponents they face. Meaning that they'll usually be ignored. And we have actually seen this at Borden Towards Hobby, where me running the good old Gallus Urban Mech backshot Tom's Marauder, took out the ammo and just blew it up. And I think Tom's held a vendetta against the best light mech in existence ever since.
I think
you deserve to be shot.
I think he has. Which mech do we think out of the ones we've chosen is the best then anyway? Discount the flea's pretty good.
Obviously the Talon.
The Talon. We're not going to come to a consensus, are we?
It's going to be like the Pirate Council, like the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Okay, I'm gonna.
We need the audience to be the person who actually puts.
I don't think we do. I think I can pull rank here, and I think I can get you to all agree that actually, although these are the mechs we like, in actuality, the best light mech is the Jenna.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
To be fair, compared to the Jenna, none of us actually have any kind of truck. The Jenna is the best mech of all time.
I did behind the scenes ban the Jenna because I thought it's just the best light mech. It's
obvious.
Yeah, so if you were wondering where the Jenna is, it's because it's the best mech of all time, and so we did kind of shadow ban the Jenna because otherwise there is literally no way we would ever be able to
look at the other light mechs and compare.
Yeah.
So they got the obviously both. I think the D without the SRM and the standard one with the SRM are both solid. Solid in both classic and Alpha Strike. It's fast. It's cheap. Maybe the one downside is the Jenna. It's not the prettiest looking mech, but it does.
It also gets really toasty.
Oh yeah.
If you try and fire it for multiple turns.
Yeah.
But other than that, it is just the best mech.
Cool. What do you reckon, Dom? Do you like the Jenna, or are you sticking to your flea?
I'm sticking to my flea.
Yeah, well, at least Dom's got principles. He loves his flea, but the rest of us, I think we do have to agree that the Jenna probably is the best. However, if you disagree with that and would like to tell us your favourite light mech from the period, tell us why we're wrong and tell us why the Jenna's not the best or why our second bests aren't the second best, then please feel free to write in or drop a comment what you think is the best light mech. And we might, obviously, as we go forward, revisit this later periods and maybe with different factions that obviously don't exist yet. Or they do exist, but we don't know about them. Cool. But yeah, well, I guess if that's it, then we'll catch you guys after the break on the flip side. And we're back. And we're back with Mech of the Week. In honour of the newly elected Pope, let's talk about the Pope of the New Avalon Catholic Church's favourite mech and his personal ride. For Pope Beneficent, oh god, that's a big number. The big number Pope, his personal ride, which is the Regent. Yeah?
17th.
I can count to like 10 in Roman numerals, but that's lots of numbers. And a quote here: he often leads the night defences in liberating Christian settlements from the godless Cretans from the cockpit of his bright gold Regent Justicar. So the Regent itself, obviously pretty cool mech if the Pope likes it. So the mech itself is kind of comes from Clan Seafox, working with Coventry Metalworks and Technicon Engineering. They were able to combine some of the older Innisphere mechs. The Omni-Mech, the Hauptmann. How do you say it, Tom? Hauptmann.
Hauptmann. It means captain in German.
They've combined some of that with some clan technology and also working with Technicon Engineering to incorporate some of the technology from the Awesome to make a new cool mech, which is the Regent. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. That's what we know about it.
I guess you could say it's a pretty awesome mech.
Pretty awesome.
And for more information on it, the prime configuration, which I believe is the main we're going to be looking at, is a 90-ton Clan Omni mech. Don't know what that is. I guess we'll talk about them in the future. They don't exist right now.
Yeah.
It's got a Renault standard type chassis, Duralex heavy special armor, which sounds interesting. GM 270 engine, letting it reach top speeds of 54 kilometers an hour or 33 miles per hour, which translates to about 5 hexes. It's got a Megaband System 21 communication system, a D-Track Suite 4 targeting system, 1 LB20 XOC, 3 ER large lasers, 1 Streak SRM4, 2 medium pulse lasers, 1 micro pulse laser, and to support all of that heat, 19 double heat sinks and it's all got case 2 all over the place. And for that, it's going to cost you 2,437 BVs. And we don't really know the C bills. You would have to use the Is it the Clan Fox?
The Clan Fox.
The C bills SEA
bill now anyway. Yeah. I forgot to mention earlier this mech is from. Is it 30? It's a newer mech than we're talking about. It's from. When is it from? 3145. That's production there.
That is quite late.
That's why Clan Fox, and you don't use Comstar dollars anymore. Using Seafox bills. Tom, do you have any information on some of these variants? Obviously, they're talking about A, B, C, and D. I don't know what this stuff is. Something to do with Omnimex, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so we've got some Omnimex, which we will talk about at a later date. But first one, we have my favourite, which I actually have physically in a metal model right in front of me. I'm holding it. Is the A configuration of the regent known as the Awesome Man, as it is a mix between the Hauptmann and the Awesome. So it's built around 3 PPCs. These are clan variants, each paired with a PPC capacitor. In addition, it carries a targeting computer, and there's 26 double heat sinks and a coolant pod. Attempt to keep the heat under control. Attempt is the optimal word here, because things get very warm.
God, this thing is an absolute monster.
It is absolutely disgusting. It does even have a medium laser in the head, just to fuck,
just for support to make
shits and gigs. However, it does come in at a absolutely whopping 3,142 BV.
Well, you won't need to upgrade your pilot in that one too much, will you? If you got the target computer with that.
I mean, you can't afford to.
No.
So, and then we've got the alternate configuration B, which is an Ultra AC-20 with paired PPCs as its main weapons, and this is supplemented by 3 medium lasers, 4 micro lasers, and 13 additional heat sinks, and that comes in at a very respectable 2,744. B configuration, pretty good. UAC 20, nothing to be scoffed at. Alternate configuration C is nicknamed the Fafnir Man. Can you see a theme with naming?
Yeah.
So this mounts 2 weapons only. The first one is a Hyper Assault Gauss Rifle 40 with 4 tons of ammunition, and the second one is an improved Heavy Gauss Rifle with 3 tons of ammunition.
That's terrifying. That's horrible guns.
And it is only 2,561 BV.
Yeah, they're not nice at all.
I need to get one of those. That's crazy.
No, please don't.
I'm gonna get one. You're never gonna.
Do not come.
Okay, without context, that sounds really bad.
But yeah, we'll carry on. Is there any more? Is there any more configurations?
There is one more configuration, Lewis.
Yeah.
And that is the D configuration, nicknamed the Mauler Man. This carries 2 improved heavy medium lasers in each arm, while the side torsos each carry an LRM-15, LBX-2, and an Ultra AC-2. This is all protected by Case 2, and there's one last small pulse laser mounted in the head. It has 2 extra heat sinks. This comes in at 2,116 BV, and I think this is absolutely fucking useless.
No, the Maulers are cool. I wonder if the pilot ejects if it gets tapped too hard as well, like the standard Mauler.
Oh, probably.
Would you call this the Duboku Man?
Oh, well, no, because this is based on the Mauler.
Yeah.
Not the Duboku.
Oh, okay. I thought they were the same. Or pretty close to.
Actually, Lewis, they're 2 very different things. Like the Katana and the Crockett.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, what do we reckon about the Regent then? He seems pretty solid. I've not got a chance to use one. I've got the plastic one from the Great F Legion box. Obviously, I think you've got that one and the A, haven't you, Tom?
Yeah.
You've used it, haven't you? Did you get on with it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't finished up the paint in the A, but
please don't finish painting the A. That sounds. I don't want to see that.
I'm coming for you.
No. What do you guys think? Well, Nathan, what do you reckon to that one?
I think he's kind of quirky, but there's definitely better, like 100-ton Omnimex.
I think there's probably
90-ton.
Yeah, I think there's probably some more specialised Omnimex, more focused, but there's a.
Also, it's a bit more of a inner sphere Omnimech.
Really. It's a bit of a combination of the bunch,
Yeah.
but all the weapons you were talking about earlier are clan spec as well, so they are doing like more damage than you might think as well. So just bear that in mind. So he's
very nice.
He's pretty solid, and I think he's a bit more like an Atlas. He's got a bit of a mix of weapons, but I think if you got that ball walking up the middle of the table, I think he'd do his job pretty well.
Oh, undeniably, it would be crazy good. Yeah, I don't think there's anything, like, literally for me, there's nothing you could improve on him.
What do you reckon, Dom? Do you think this is a ride befitting a pope?
I think, aren't we all on our own rides? Religious journeys to figure out where we all stand in the BattleTech universe. And the Pope's ride just happens to be a giant robot.
Yeah. Well,
That's surprisingly, insightful.
super. Well, we'll leave off with that then for Mech of the Week. Thank you very much for that, guys, and we'll catch you guys on the other side of the break. So catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
And we're back for the outro, and also before we go, we've got some listener mail. I've got some listener mail, aka some mail in Nathan's sack. So let's get in Nathan's sack and get the mail out.
Man, let's maybe not.
Oh dear.
It's because Nathan reads the mail, because it's only me and Nathan who can access it for some reason.
I don't want to get in Nathan's sack, but yeah, I have to today.
You have to.
So today we've had a listener mail from Mike, who is, as he says, long-time listener and mortal enemy of the show. Mike here with a couple of points for the last episode. Firstly, I'd like to say I love the show. I think it's brilliant what you're doing. Thank you, Mike. So do we, hopefully. However, he does have some comments, which I'll read out in full. This is not an endorsement of the comments, but, I think it's important that we show that we're not always completely correct. Firstly, I'd like to say, on the negative side, I have major umbrage with your Mech of the Week.
Agreed. What the hell?
Trebuchet. Seriously. What the fuck, man? Looks like a roll-on deodorant with arms. Made me feel so nauseous hearing it, being talked about it admiringly. My personal suggestions for Mech of the Week include such beauties as the Wraith, duh, it's beautiful. The Imp, duh, it's big and beautiful.
I'm not sure about that.
The Muckraker, duh, it's big and basic and beautiful. Anyway, enough enemying from me. Keep up the good work. See you on the flip side.
See, this guy gets it. See you on the flip side. Yeah, Trebuchet should have been another Mech. Agreed, agree there, Mike.
How much did you pay Mike to say see you on the flip side?
I didn't pay him, which makes it even better. It makes me so happy.
Not as much as he had to pay him to say the Trebuchet was a bad pick.
But the thing is, I actually like the Trebuchet. Mike's got an issue with he doesn't actually like the Trebuchet.
Of course.
I like the Trebuchet, but just didn't think we should have put it there. But it's fine.
Let's not have the Marek making the Marek episode.
Obviously, thanks for sending some mailing to us, Mike.
Can we do the Mudraker? We can do the Mudraker at some point, can't we? That's
I think it's quite far ahead, because it's like industrial mech that they bought out because they didn't have any mechs left at the time.
Yeah, but like it's brought out in the time frame, and like the Wraith and Imp.
The Mudraker that we use in games for some reason has got a rack on it.
I don't know if we talk about like the Capellans in more detail. We can talk about the Mudraker. Seeing that we're gonna have to scoop shit off the podcast.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Hey yo!
Make enemies. But yeah, thank you very much for saying that. Anyway, Mike, if you guys want to send us anything in, obviously please feel free to drop us a message, a comment, or an email to hexpertshelpline@gmail.com. But yeah, and we'll be heading out anyway, guys. So thanks for listening. Thanks for all the support and feedback. Really appreciate it. Hopefully it's making it sound a bit better. Please feel free to like, share, favourite, subscribe, ring bells, or whatever else you need to do with YouTube and social media these days. Obviously, if you want to get in touch with us, as I've just said, hexpertshelpline@gmail.com. There's a bunch of other ways to get in touch with us in the description of the episode on YouTube or on the podcast.
Sometimes we even read emails.
Well, we read emails, Tom. You don't. Apart from when we make you. But yes, next episode will be episode 12, and we still haven't figured out what that is yet. However, I'm sure the dragon will be back. So we talk about Mech of the Week for the dragon. I know everyone is real mad that it's not here yet, but don't worry, guys. I'll make sure we get the dragon at some point. But yeah, cool. So if there's nothing else, then guys, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See ya!